Yo! What is going on, everybody? About a week ago, Armando posted a really cool video showing how he lights his talking head stuff, and I saw a couple people kind of complaining in the comment section of that video about how he has, you know, some of the best gear on the market. I wanted to take it upon myself to show you guys that just because Armando has, you know, some of the best gear that money can buy, doesn't mean that you can't achieve the same look on more of a budget. If you guys haven't seen Armando's video, I'm gonna leave a link to it down below. I want you to go watch it, and if you don't know who Armando is, I highly suggest you subscribe to his channel because he is super knowledgeable, and I think that his lighting and color grading and just his overall YouTube presence is very, very good. So go give him a subscribe, go subscribe to his channel and check out this video that I am referencing here. So anyway, back to the whole purpose of this video. I wanted to show you guys how I created this scene right here that you're seeing right now on more of a budget-friendly option. Now, this is the gear that I have and that I use, and it's not the top of the line. It's not the best of the best of the best, but I think it's pretty good and it gets the job done. So what I'm gonna do is kind of show you guys a BTS breakdown, kind of like what Armando did, and show you how to achieve this look on more of a budget. So let's get into it. All right, so I just figured I'd show you guys real quick my studio space. It's nothing fancy. It's not big at all, but I just thought I'd give you guys a little glimpse of the area that I'm working in. All right, so step number one to this whole process is getting a key light. The one I'm using right here, this is the Falconize RX12T. I believe I bought this light for like 200-ish bucks on Amazon. Everything that I'm gonna go over in this video, I'm gonna link down in the description below for you guys to take a look at yourself. I am a huge fan of this light. It is small, it's lightweight, compact, plus the power output is really good, it's really bright. And yeah, I'm just a big fan of this light. So this is what we're gonna be using. And I'm gonna turn this on and show you guys what we're working with. All right, jeez. All right, so step number one, add the key light. It's good, but it could be better. I have this light positioned a little bit less than 45 degrees away. So this is like 35 degrees, whatever. This light's off to my right-hand side right here. It's giving this nice kind of fall off from the highlights, the shadows on this side of the face. I'm going for more of a moodier look, a little bit less of like the Rembrandt style. I wanted something a little bit more contrasty, so that's why I have the light pushed back a little bit more to the right side. I think this looks pretty good so far, but I do think it's coming in a little bit hot on my face, so we're gonna add a little bit of diffusion in front of this to make it look a little softer and a little better. Jesus. All right, step two, we're gonna add one more layer of diffusion. What I have here is a 5-in-1 reflector that you can get off Amazon. Again, super cheap, and I think that everybody needs to have one of these in their bags or in their kit at all time. So if you unzip this reflective material, you can slide out this big sheet of diffusion, and all I'm gonna do is put this diffusion right in front of this key light here, and it's just gonna act as one more layer of diffusion. So I'm gonna bring in one more light stand, and on the top of this reflector, there's this loop. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's this little loop on the reflector. I'm just gonna put it right over the top of the light stand, and then I'm going to extend my light stand all the way up. All right, so we got the extra layer of diffusion up, but as you can see, it wants to kind of swing back and forth. So all I'm gonna do is take this little clamp and, oh, all right, so the clamp is there. This thing's not going nowhere. Let's see what it looks like with one more layer of diffusion. All right, so with the second layer of diffusion added, you guys can see the difference here. The light is much softer coming in. The difference between the highlights to the shadow side of the face is just a much smoother gradient. Just looks more appealing to the eye. But since we added one more layer of diffusion, it's actually cutting a couple stops of that light out. So what we gotta do is just bump up this light, make it a little stronger to get our exposure on the face where it needs to be. All right, so you guys can see that this light gets pretty powerful. This is at 100% brightness through 2 layers of diffusion with an egg crate. For the price that you pay for this light, I think it's kind of a no-brainer. I love it. All right, so the way that I'm gonna dial in my exposure right now is I'm just gonna slowly start introducing more and more light into the scene until I see zebras pop up on the right side of my face, which, there they are right there. I have my zebras set to 70 IRE. And by the way, guys, I'm shooting this on the Sony a6600 in S-Log2. I expose skin tones around the 70 IRE mark, but since I'm a pretty white guy, I'm gonna dial it back just a few notches. And I think that looks pretty good. All right, so step 2.5, I'm gonna bring in just a little bit of negative fill. What I have here is a piece of foam core, and I'm just gonna put it off to the left side, right here. So this little piece of foam core is not going to do too much, but it's definitely doing a little something. And as you guys can see, I'm shooting in a room with gray walls, so my key light's kind of bouncing off this gray wall and bouncing back into me on this side. So if I want to go for a little bit moodier, dramatic look, I'm just going to leave that there, and I think it's sucked up just the right amount of light. All right, so step 3, I'm going to add a practical light. As you guys can see behind me right there on my desk, I have a little lamp. I actually took the light bulb out of that because it looks like booty, and I am going to replace it with this little pocket RGB light. This is from Andy Cine, as you guys can see. This is the R1, super handy little light, super affordable, and I highly suggest everybody has one of these lights in their bag. I'm gonna be making a video about this soon, so stick around for that. All right guys, so I'm going to pop this light on, and right now I have it set to color temperature 2500 Kelvin, brightness 14%, and all I'm gonna do is drop it right in this lamp. And also I have my MacBook behind me, and the background that I have in my MacBook is a photo that I shot in California a couple years back. It's kind of got this cool teal vibe going, so little color contrast, teal and orange. Everybody loves teal and orange. All right, so now that we have the lamp on and the laptop on, you guys can see that this is starting to look a lot better, but we're not there yet. I'm gonna do one more thing just to kind of make this whole scene pop a little bit more, and this one's pretty cool, and I think you guys are gonna like it. All right, so for the last step of the process, guys, I'm just gonna make the scene pop a little bit more by lighting the background. What I have here is the Godox Sl. What we have here is the Godox SL60W. This is kind of like the Aperture 120D knockoff, and I love this light. This thing is absolutely amazing. I worked with the Aperture 120Ds for about 2 years before I left my last job, and I decided to buy a Godox SL60W because everybody says that this is the Aperture 120D killer. So I wanted to see for myself before I invested in a ton of lighting gear, and I am beyond impressed with the quality of this light. This is worth every single penny, and I highly recommend this light. So what I have on here is just the reflector that comes with the light, and we're gonna point it at this back wall and make it look pretty. I don't know about you guys, but to me, that doesn't look pretty. So in order to get that texture and the shadows that you guys saw running across the back wall in the opening scene, all I did was took some black pieces of foam core and I cut out some holes to mimic the shape of windows and blinds, and I hung that foam core up on another light stand and then just blasted the Godox through it using some blackout foil to kind of control and shape the light so it doesn't spill all over the place and look absolutely garbage. Right now the Godox is actually at 10%, and you can see just how powerful it is with lighting up the entire back wall and making it look like poop. All right, so this is the black foam core that I cut up at home with an X-Acto knife, a hockey stick, and a ruler. It's really not rocket science, guys. Just take your time when you do this because you don't want to mess up, because it's annoying if you mess up. Just take your time with it. Don't rush it. Really measure it out because you want it to look as believable as possible. Now, the legit versions of these are actually pretty expensive, and I really didn't want to pay a ton of money for something with a bunch of holes in it when I could just do it myself. So this is what I came up with. I think it came out pretty good, as you guys can see in that opening shot. But I also made another one right here. This one just kind of looks more like a window. We're gonna use this one this time just to show you guys the difference between the two. But guys, there's no rules with this. You know, you can get creative. That's what I like about using foam cores. You can make your own designs. You can cut zigzags and swirlies and whatever the heck you want to cut into it. So get creative, have some fun with it. All right, so now we need to use something to hold the foam core in place. What I'm gonna use here is a stand made by Impact. It's actually a reflector / light stand. And the cool thing about it is you can extend it all the way up and then rotate it out 90 degrees, and it acts as a boom. And the other really cool thing about it, it's got these clamps built into it, so all you have to do is take your foam core, clamp it right into these clamps. Now we're gonna raise it up. We're gonna position it somewhere in front of the light, and once I turn the light back on, I'll mess around with it and adjust it just a little bit more to get it looking how we want. All right guys, but we're still not done. We got one more thing to do. Now that we have the foam core and the light in place, as you can see, when I turn this on, this light in this reflector dome is just spilling the light all over the place, so we need to control it just a little bit more. What I'm gonna do is add some blackout foil over the top of the reflector piece here. I'm just gonna kind of shape the foil into more of a snoot to directionalize, to get the light going in the direction that I want it to go without any spill. I'm just using a little bit of gaff tape to hold it to the reflector itself. Now all we have to do is just kind of shape this to get it looking good. So I want you guys to take a look at the shadow on the back wall right there. If I take the light stand with the foam core on it and move it closer to the light and farther away from the light, you can see how the shadow is changing. And if I angle it this way, angle it back this way, you can see that you can really mess around with the shadows and create some interesting looks. All right, so now that we have the foam core with the window cutout hung up over there, you can definitely see the little bit of a subtle difference that it makes to the image. It just kind of adds a little bit more of a dynamicness. It just kind of adds a little bit more pop, a little bit more punch to the background. I'm not really sure if I like the window pane look as much as I like the look of the blinds, but let me know in the comments down below which one you guys like better. And before I close out this video, I just want to say that I know, I forgot to add a hair light. But as you guys can see here, I'm working in a really tight space and I don't have the room to stick a hair light. And typically for me, I like to put my hair light on the opposite side of my key light. So my key light's right here on the right. I like to add a hair light from the left side just to add a rim here, but I have a wall right here and I don't have a big enough C-stand to boom out a hair light over the top of my head. And I used all the light stands that I have already, so this is as best as we got. But anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. I think this looks pretty dang good to me. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a thumbs up down below. It really helps out. I'm really trying to dedicate a little bit more time to this whole YouTube thing. So if you guys enjoy me and looking at this ugly mug of a face, hit the subscribe button, stick around a little bit, see what we got coming in store. And of course, if you didn't like the video, then dislike it. It's really not a big deal. Let me know what you didn't like in the comments down below. So that way there, I can take that criticism and carry it into the next video to make things better for you guys. And we can all just be one big happy family. One big happy YouTube family. That was so lame. Anyway, guys, I'll leave links to all of this gear, or as much of it as I can, down in the description below. And stay safe, stay clean, wash your hands. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Wow, I'm out of space on this card.